Recording. Okay, when I first learned how to do tandem Prusik belays, and I'm sure like most people learn it, they think that it's like this action doing this, which is actually not correct. So here's the correct way to do this. We extend our Prusiks out, we try and grab what we can in our hands, and that's the problem with the tandem Prusiks. There's going to be a little bit of a slack if I can actually grab both in my hand. And I hold these Prusiks out away from the anchor, so there's constant tension. What I don't want to do is do my collapsing and have this loosey-goosey over here. This stays put. My wrist, my thumbs like thumbs up towards the sky. I go up towards the sky and I hold this position no matter how tired I get, and I'm gonna get tired. Like, this does not change. Like, the tension here stays the same. My thumbs, my hand, everything points up, and this part of my body stays the same. The only thing that's moving is the opposite hand or arm. And the way what this looks like is I go, I don't want to wrap around with my thumbs, so my thumbs are out like this, so I don't want to wrap around. Again, one hand up to the sky, hold that steady, and then I pull all this, I try to pull as much as I can to the sky, and then I bring it down into this bite. And as it gets lowered out, as the main line gets lowered out, as we collapse a little bit, I gotta do this again and bring that in and maintain some tension in my hand here and get that horseshoe shape. Notice that this side of my body does not move. It's just the one arm going up to the sky, back down, and you're on the rope. There you go. Okay, just like that. And then fall. That's how you do a tandem Prusik belay. So a lot harder than on a raise. Let's go over here to the VT. VT is the evolution of the tandem Prusik belay. A lot easier to manage. I can grab it much easier with one hand, but the same rules apply. I take whatever slack is here and I extend it out so that there is none. I rotate my hand so that my thumb is pointing to the sky, grip this, and then I pull with the opposite arm as far as I can, bring that bite down, and this is kind of how I start. And as the load goes lower, and then I have to, like, if the speed is too much, it's me. Like, I'm calling the shots, not the lowering team, because I don't want this to get hung up. So if they're going too fast, I need to tell them to slow down, okay, and fall. That's how you belay, just like a tandem Prusik belay. This is the VT max over 1 or 6 over 1 belay. All right, moving on. ASAP on a lower. Okay. Much more straightforward than on a raise, because I don't have to worry about this dead leg collapsing. It's already extended forward. I don't have to worry about it. I can route this up through a pulley or a carabiner, doesn't matter, just to maintain a little bit of back tension. And even if I can even maybe feed a little bit out if they ask for it. I can also, follow me back, I can also belay closer to the edge if I wanted to. That's what's great about the ASAPs. Granted, the ASAP is not an NFPA rated device, but we use it all the time anyway. So follow me back up, and I'm belaying out and then fall. Okay, it locks up and there's very minimal actual forward motion. The question is, well, at what point does this fall? It's not an NFPA rated device. At what load will this activate? The answer is about 650 to 780. I think 780 was when I actually felt like the first real full stitch start to rip on these. The ASAP server access deploys to about 8 feet total, but that's for, like, I don't know what kind of impact force it's going to take for this thing to deploy a full 8 feet, but that's something to be mindful of, because you want to make room for this to actually elongate. So if you have a directional right here, that might be a little bit too close. So you have to consider, like, how far back from the edge and what obstacles are going to be in front if I'm going to use this appropriately. And again, not an NFPA rated device, does not pass the belay competency drop test because it does stretch and elongate unacceptable distances for that standard. Okay, moving on. The Maestro, not the NPD. Got it right this time. Okay, this is an option for like a 2-tension rope system, or the ability to possibly convert to a 2-tension rope system. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to treat the pulley that's in the Maestro as just a change in direction by going wide open on the handle, and I don't even worry about belaying with a Maestro. I'm really belaying with the ASAP. I'm just letting it feeds through. And if I want to convert to a 2-tension system on the fly, I can do that and share the load with another rope. And now we're both lowering and we're both belaying at the same time. They say, okay, no, I'm gonna go back to a full belay, dedicated belay. Okay, I'm just gonna let it ride and just feeds and fall. Hang on, there we go, same thing. The problem with the ASAPs is it's 2.5 meters per second when it actually engages. So like a steep, moderate to steep angle slip where they're just sliding down and they may not be having a catastrophic fall. We have to know what's going on because that gradual increase in speed, well, we don't know if that's a fall or if that's just them going faster. So we need to be careful when we belay with the ASAP. Moving on. The Maestro without the ASAP on a lower. So this one, hold that thought right there. All right. I know I don't want to be part of the system when I belay, but actually this is it kind of makes it a little bit easier. Even though I'm in the system, I know that that's kind of a blasphemy of rope rescue. Don't be part of the system, especially on a belay, but this really does make your job a lot easier. So belaying with a Maestro on a lower is actually pretty dang easy. So I don't want all my hands on the handle. I just want to keep one finger on the handle, and the rest of my fingers are grabbing that brake strand rope just like that. And that's all I'm doing, just letting it feed out and fall. Okay, because I only have one hand, it's going to come out of my finger very quickly. That's what's so great about the Maestro. Yeah, I could do this without clipping into the becket. However, like positioning, sometimes it can get a little bit tough to manage. So without the becket, okay, we're lowering. You see, it's a little bit harder for me to hold on with my finger and my other fingers on the rope because it's a little bit out here. So if I'm sucked into it, I'm leaning back. It's a lot easier for me to mine this Maestro. Steve, fall. And so you can see right there, I can tell if there was a catastrophic failure. So fall again, it still locks up even though like it wasn't significant. I like being in better. Okay, Steve, fall. Being connected in the becket actually helps that handle come back on a fall. Okay, moving on. The old way of pulling up and releasing, because we're defeating the locking mechanism or the auto locking device when we pull this handle up and rotate it. That's dangerous. So these things, the old way of doing that with your finger and then like just feeling the back end of the rope and then like letting go during a fall, that's kind of we don't really do that anymore. And there are videos, I think CMC has a video out now about how they've changed that up. And so again, with the becket, I'm going to do the same thing on the MPD on a lower for belay. And I want to get it centered. So I'm going to go right here. Okay. So again, we talked about like the ability for, you can feed rope in any direction that's not under tension on this MPD. So this is the load side here. This is the resistance. I need to be able to feed this rope in, but at the same time, like just like a tandem Prusik belay, I need to be able to provide some tension. I'm going to lean back against the becket and provide a little bit of back tension so I can feed the brake strand or the haul strand through that MPD as it's getting lowered. So if you look at my left hand right here, so I'm providing a little bit of tension on my left hand as I feed in with the right hand. Because otherwise this thing's could possibly hang up just on like a slight angle change, and I don't want those hang-ups to cause problems for my lowering team. So I'm going to provide a little bit of tension, okay, and we go down, okay, fall, and it engages a lot smoother, a lot easier if you just provide that tension, hold that load side with one end. You can lean back into it against the becket. It makes it a lot more comfortable to actually belay. So those are all the ways that we can belay on a lower with the gear we have, at least at our station and in our department and our organization. There are other ways, but these are just the most popular and most common.